Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McCreelove, and this is Speedplay France and Stellaris number 3. We left off having conquered the neighbor who was adjacent to us and basically blocking us into our corner of the galaxy. We are now free to expand and to explore. We could also say to exploit and to exterminate and just go all classic 4X mode on it. And that is really what we're going to be doing. We have a pretty significant military force which we have been maintaining. Hopefully it is now strong enough that we can go ahead and take on some of the neutral hostile bits which we previously did not have fleet enough to fight. We're also discovering ancient artifacts, really just doing a whole lot of science. You'll notice we're up to 4 science ships now, since all of a sudden the galaxy once again is open to us in a way that it hasn't been since before we went and conquered our not too pleasant neighbors, and now more or less docile slaves. So who's to say that we can't make progress? At any rate though, so we are going ahead doing just a whole lot of science, building up our fleet, getting ready to fight various hostile groups which we go ahead and destroy, such as those cultist forces. However, they do apparently have a shipyard somewhere right there actually. So that's convenient, although slightly inconvenient for reasons of it was right there and damaged our already hurt fleet. But there we go. Apparently their new, more powerful flagship has kind of just dipped out somewhere. I believe we find out that it is actually somewhere very far away that we can't actually reach with the current technology that we have. So we basically have to leave the cultist rebels for the foreseeable future. Maybe we'll get them eventually, but probably not for quite some time. Kind of makes you wonder how they managed to get somewhere we can't even get to, especially since they don't have wormhole stations or anything like that, but let's just ignore that for now. We also double up on our construction ships. We do find the tree, which is a pretty awesome mission to get and actually not fail. So that's pretty great. The cultist flagship was located way off in the distance, somewhere we can't get. At any rate though, we do just go ahead and focus on some internal management for the moment. We have quite a few people, some of whom are not too pleased. All of the aliens are kind of upset with our, treatment of them and their peoples, and we're getting some worlds up into working functional order. We also get the special project complete, which adds 10-year lifespans to our leaders, or just a general happiness boost to our people. We go ahead and get the better leaders. Some of the racial traits that we've given our people are, I believe they're talented and quick learners, or something along those lines. Basically, they start off one level higher, and they learn quicker. I feel like that's a pretty decent French, vaguely French-style traits to give them. At any rate, so hopefully that will help us just keep a pretty decent administration. We don't have any bonuses to lifespans or life expectancies, so it's very lucky that we got the tree. Also, apparently, the game glitched out and showed massive monsters, which would be horrifying to our people, seeing as we're xenophobes. And unfortunately, we're xenophobes who have now got some subject alien peoples. We really had no choice in that, though, and we're probably going to have to go the route of Dominion, as the fact that we are already the French Empire suggests. At any rate, though, we go ahead and produce a new colony ship on Earth. We are also just generally doing science this time round. The general idea being that we'll just explore everything we can, hopefully find some resources and go exploit those. Generally, though, we have breathing room now. Now, we don't really have very much in the way of science production, and we're really just going after the various projects and special research things that we can go and find. And we are discovering new alien menaces as we work our way closer and closer to the arachnid zone, which, admittedly, little bit of a spoiler alert for this one. I've played quite a few Stellaris games in single player, and just went ahead and decided to let all of the nations and various things that I've made had it so that they can potentially show up in this, the arachnid zone being a bit of a reference, depending on, just how well read or well watched of movies you are. So that's just a little not subtle, a little thing. And I do think that it adds a little bit of flavor to be able to discover other creations of your own. I did turn off all other human races, so hopefully we won't see more humans out in the galaxy. Admittedly, though, who knows how the game operates, we could. We also believe it was Rantor Prime so we were just colonizing another area inside a system we already control. It appears as though they have changed it in a recent patch, and it's just a limit of 5 systems, not a limit of 5 planets, which is how we have 6 planets on the 5 systems, and we're not over our limit right now. So that's great. We don't have to do anything in order to... well, right now we get a transformation terraforming event, but we don't have the energy to actually do it, so we just get a science boost. But so we don't have to worry about separate entities inside of our country. I forget what they're called, sectors. We don't have to worry about sectors just yet. We will as we expand. However, for now, we're able to just deal with everything more or less rapidly. And ideally, the peoples who are now our subjects in those 2 worlds we conquered, we have them all enslaved right now. That just is the case, is the state of their part of our empire. We're also encouraging free thought. It's my hope that since we're encouraging free thought, we might encourage them into being more along our ideological same lines, and thus they will hopefully find happiness within our regime, and thus we can liberate them. Otherwise, they're free to be slaves inside of our society and hopefully come to some sort of, peace with it there. Alright, so that all said and done, we're just more or less peacefully expanding. You'll notice our fleet is suddenly half power because we're out of energy. Energy has been and probably will continue to be a major, really just a major hindrance to us as we try to explore the galaxy and make our place in it. Now, we could be going out and setting up various frontier outposts in order to capture some of these smaller systems with a little bit of energy production. However, with the amount of cost it'll have to our influence, I'm not sure if it'd be entirely worthwhile. We are, however, discovering a lot of various interesting things just throughout our sector of the galaxy. And unfortunately, I don't think that we'll really have very much access to the foreign states around us, even though it is something they've really added in this last series of patches. We just have such a hostile relationship with all of our neighbors that they quickly close their borders to us. And even now, if you look at that, they have gone ahead and expanded into our zone where we were attempting to just set up a wormhole station in order to go and explore even further. So once again, the French Empire, well, the French state, we'll say, is boxed in. And that is not really something that is forgivable. We do have a rather significant military. We're going to start producing even more. We still don't have very much in the way of energy, especially since we are in the midst of colonizing. However, as soon as this colony is complete, we should have forces ready and capable to go and expand our influence into our new and, once again, upsettingly close neighbors. So I think xenophobia, although ultimately it will make it more difficult for us to lead our empire as it grows more diverse, is definitely a good choice just for how we deal with the empires around us. We do also go ahead and send our science ships to go assist research. We are discovering even more alien peoples, which is vaguely upsetting in its own way. And we are going ahead and gathering specimens for our intergalactic zoo, or I guess intragalactic interstellar zoo. At any rate, we do go ahead and set up a new wormhole station. We have built up our navy considerably. We're going to try to group them all together, go ahead and research various projects in various areas, get our science ships to hopefully be doing something or other, and we just finished research on robots, so we can go ahead and begin building robot slaves in order to replace our Xeno slaves. And yeah, just generally aid us in the extraction of various resources, mostly energy, although slaves and robots are better at mineral production and collection than energy ones. We've also discovered a new nation over off in the distance, which doesn't really like us too much, but also isn't too very upset at us. They'll also apparently be willing to give us some various researches and just agreements, so hopefully we'll be able to get energy from them in order to bankroll our military machine as we roll through all of these new neighbors of ours whom we are so sadly forced to interact with. At any rate, though, our military is getting all together at our staging point near Nashira, where hopefully they'll be able to all just group together and then launch out. Unfortunately, their borders have expanded apparently even more, destroying our new wormhole station, so we have to go build a new one. We do destroy some neutral hostiles, and I believe there it is. It is actually still functioning, so we can probably just use it to go ahead and attack. I'm not sure why it didn't show up as being there for a moment. Perhaps it just hadn't finished construction. At any rate, Nashira is our staging point. From here we can declare war on the Arachnid Zone. They were almost certainly the ones who attacked us by expanding their borders into areas where our spaceships were. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back with more tomorrow as we defend our frontiers aggressively.